You're listening to Hackers IRL. We're the people the news pretends are a single character. We are not. We pop shells, walk our dogs, fight with our printers, and somehow ship the work. This show is voicemails. Brain dumps from our side of the wire about whatever's on our minds. The line stays open. Up next, Panda with Ashura, the superheroes of cybersecurity. Here's their story.
Hey guys, so it's Panda. I just wanted to mention a funny little story or thing I do. So because I go by Panda, I have access to an emoji. I know a lot of you guys see me use that emoji a lot as I communicate. I love emojis and stickers and, visual communication in general. I think it's especially common with furries. Anyway, I use emojis a lot. So much so that if a system allows me to enter an emoji, instead of entering plain text for Panda, a lot of times I'll just enter a Panda emoji. I go everywhere with a Panda hat, so I'm pretty easy to spot out, if I want to be. And, that works really well at restaurants and other places where, they might want to call out for Panda, or put an order, or do an order or whatever, I really don't need to tell people my name. So anyway, when I do that, it's always a test, whether I want it to be or not. It's just always cool to see how far that emoji gets in the system. So if it's a con, for instance, and I'm putting it on a con badge, does it make it through the reg system? Does it get eaten in the reg system? Does it get printed on the badge? Does it get eaten by the, whatever software you're using to render the badge? A lot of times I get badges that have no name or question marks, or tonight I had a food order that had no name and they were trying to figure out who to give it to. It was just blank, you could enter it, but then it doesn't actually print out on the receipt. So anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. But it's just always cool to see where, systems don't consider edge cases. And it's normally pretty indicative of how the overall system was designed as a whole as well. If you aren't considering edge cases, there's what other gaps are there? So, it's fun to poke. It's funny on being a Panda. I'm not the only Panda at DEF CON by any means. I have friends who go by Panda. So, I have a friend named PandaNamedPanda. He actually won a black badge this year. So shout out PandaNamedPanda. You are amazing and congrats again. There's all other kinds of pandas throughout the con. I actually tell people, when they point it out that, it's an embarrassment. Not a lot of people, know what that is until I explain it. But an embarrassment is actually the official term for a group of pandas. So, just like you would have a pack of wolves, you could have an embarrassment of pandas. So I tell people that all of the pandas at DEF CON, collectively are an embarrassment. But it's so funny because, PandaNamedPanda is a good example. We get people confusing us all the time and, end up passing messages back and forth sometimes, to each other, that were meant for each other. And, it's not just him. There's other pandas that I get confused with. For instance, a friend thought he's helping with the new village badge this year, so I got props for that. I got props for apparently doing really well in Hacker Jeopardy, but I think that was the Pandas team. Someone really thought it was me for whatever reason, but that's awesome. Like I said, it's Panda skills, and then let's see, this year I also got confused for Panda, who, trying to remember, it just happens a lot, yeah, badges, challenges, parties. Oh yeah, there's a Illuminati party panda that I got confused with. So yeah, all you pandas out there doing awesome stuff. If I haven't met you, I can't wait to. And it's really cool to see the black and white side of the intersect community. So hope you all have a great night, and hope you all had an amazing Hacker Summer Camp, and take care. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Hackers IRL. Background music is Simplicity by Macroform. If you've got a story of your own, a breach, a leak, a close call, or just something on your mind, join us. Call 904-915-HACK. That's 904-915-4225. Up to 10 minutes. Choose to preserve your OPSEC, and we distort your voice before anyone hears it. End of transmission.